So then, after leaving the city, wherever I went after that, I continually was tracked and followed. By vehicles. And what they did then, they started mixing it up. This is an interesting part. They started using females. They started using, I noticed, like family members too. They started getting mixed up, as far as using a variety of people to do their work for them. I would go into stores and they'd make sure they'd have a guy follow me in a store, department store, and, just watch me no matter where I'd go. They were putting this kind of total intimidation on me. And I still say, this is the most important part. Somebody has tracking information of databases, how to call all these people up and to get them to do their work for them. I mean, this is very important. They have to have a database for all these people. And they use regular people also. I learned that. And so time went on. So I decided I went out west. I went to California to visit one of my relatives in San Diego. Now, you got to remember this. I decided at that time I'm going to report this. I want to report this. It was March 1st to the FBI in Los Angeles, California. You ready for this? I go there. I reported to them thinking that they were going to investigate and call me up and say, hey, okay, we checked all your information out. Never heard one call. Imagine that. March 1st, 2010. To this day, I haven't heard one call. Okay. Still the same thing. They're still harassing me. I'm still being violated by the emails, you know what I'm saying? I can't work a regular job anymore. They know exactly what they're doing to shut me down right in the land. Now, March 1st, this is another thing. When I reported them to the FBI March 1st, that same day, my son was arrested, which I didn't even know this till several months later. My son was arrested that same day. And when they knew that I found out that he was arrested, I got an email. And the email stated to me that this is what you get, frame license plate. What they were insinuating is because I got his license plate and turned his license plate name letters in, this is related to my son, what happened to my son. And to this day, I'm still unclear of what happened to my son. He got in an incident there, and he said they went to put false charges on him, and he didn't want to take the charges because he said he didn't do this. And 5.5 months, he spent time in jail. 5.5 months. So I called him when I realized, I said, I'm going to come down because he was going to go to trial. I was going to come down there and I will see the police records and I will look everything and talk to his lawyer, okay, the public defender. And I had called him on the phone. Okay, and so 3 days before I was on my way down, I just happened to look online to see his status, and he wasn't in jail anymore. And I said to myself, but that's strange. I called up the jail, and they told me, the detention center, and they told me, oh, he was released that Friday. I'm like, released? That's strange, He calls me the day before my flight is to leave there, and he goes, oh, they let me out because the person who was involved in it got a lawyer, and they just released him. I'm still unclear on that, but the idea is of strange timing. The day I report to the FBI in Los Angeles the situation, my son's arrested this same day, and then they mock me by email of what happened to my son because I got the police officer's license plate and turned him in. That's very important. Interesting, isn't it? Okay, all this for my psychic, handling this. Okay, so as time goes on, I come back to town. I come back from the West Coast. I come back to the East Coast. And I'm figuring out that one day I'm going to call the police on these stalkers, the people who are following me. So I'm down in outside of Willow Grove, Pennsylvania, and I just got it here. And it was matter of fact, September 13th, 2010. Okay, I'm in Staples there in It was Upper Moreland. And this guy here comes, I can see him, he's following me in the store. He decides to come over to where I was on the laptop and look right over my shoulder. And he's like 6'3", and intimidating. And I go, oh no, you're not going to get this. I'm calling you in. I call 911 as I step out the store. He steps out. I call 911 on him, right? And he begins to take off. You know what I'm saying? And I'm following him. And his car is not in the lot. Maybe it was, but he decides to cross, and he knows I'm on the phone talking and calling the police, right? And talking to 911 operator. She sent in a police officer. The light's green, and the cars are traveling on, I think it was like it could have been a 4-lane highway. He crosses while I'm watching him on the phone. He crosses the street without the light turning red, and he's able to walk. He crosses while the cars are moving. I'm still tracking him. All of a sudden, the police officer comes. His name was Officer Hoffman, right? And I tell him, hey, this guy, he's stalking me in this store. He's up on me in the store. I said I felt very uncomfortable, and I just want to make a documentation of who he is and what he's doing. Well, this guy had no ID on him. He said, oh, he has no ID. I'm like, okay, they're going to get the ID, so I'm going to stand around to get the information. So the police officer tells me to leave. I go, okay. I said, well, I would like to give a report because this is affiliated with another issue, about the Don Aaron and the secret family. He goes, what are you talking about? He didn't want to know anything about that comment. So I said, well, I'd like to make a report on this. And he goes, I'll do the report. He says, you can leave now. So that was the end of that, and I left, okay? And that was Upper Moreland, PA, this took place at. So to this day, again, when I go to report this situation, I get sent away and told the police officer will make the report. What is that? So how do you report a corrupt police officer and a secret family? How do you report one when you can't report one to the police department? I'm like, boy, where did that get me? You know what I'm saying? So, all of a sudden you're starting to realize, here I am, a citizen of the United States, being illegally abused by who we pay taxes to protect us. Now they're deliberately violating my rights in this country, deliberately, and there's no way that I can report this. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like saying to myself, this is unreal. I'm like, this can't really be happening. You know what I'm saying? What type of organization or what type of influence has this power, this database power of the military, of the army, and to be able to infiltrate all parts of the government workers and use them to do dirty work, to do crime work, to cover up for whatever they want to cover up and however they deem that they want it done. And that's what we're going to get to next, how they do that. Stay tuned.